Ephesus, 500 BCE. A man stands at the edge of the river and refuses to step in. Not because he is afraid, because he knows something. He knows this river, its water, its shape, its name, is not the same river it was a moment ago. And he suspects the same is true of the man standing at its edge. His name is Heraclitus. He will write almost nothing down. What survives are fragments 130 sharp sentences that read less like philosophy and more like warnings. The warning that mattered most has been misquoted for 2,000 years, and that misquote is costing you something real. Heraclitus was born into a city in transition. Ephesus sat between two empires, Persian power pressing from the east, Greek identity fragmenting from within. The old aristocratic order was dissolving. The new democratic experiment was unstable. Nothing held. His contemporaries responded the way people usually do. They looked for solid ground, for permanent laws, for gods who didn't move. Heraclitus looked at the same world and reached the opposite conclusion. The instability wasn't a problem to be solved. It was the answer. But the answer he gave was not what you think it was. Heraclitus had two core ideas, and they are inseparable. The first, everything flows. Panta rei. But here is where the misquote lives. Most people think Heraclitus was saying everything changes, nothing lasts, nothing is worth holding. A kind of ancient nihilism. That is not what he said. He said you cannot step into the same river twice because the river is only a river because it keeps flowing. Stop the flow and it becomes a pond, a stagnant thing. The change is not the enemy of the river. The change is what makes it a river. Stability is stasis, not safety. This is the opposite of what we assume. We treat consistency as health and change as symptom. Heraclitus says the system that does not change is already dying. It just hasn't noticed yet. The second idea, logos, an ordering principle beneath the chaos. Not a god, not a moral law, a structural logic that runs through opposites. Hot and cold define each other. War and peace produce each other. The tension between opposites is not the problem, it is the engine. He contrasted sharply with the Pythagoreans of his day, those who believed the universe was ultimately expressible as harmony, as number, as resolved form. Heraclitus said no, the universe is not resolved. It holds its contradictions in productive tension, always. Now, why did he refuse to step into the river? Not hesitation, not fear. He was demonstrating the logos in action. You cannot engage with anything, a river, a city, another person, as though it were frozen. You can only engage with what it is right now. That is not pessimism, that is precision. And yet Heraclitus himself struggled with the thing he described best. Here is the honest limit. Heraclitus described change with extraordinary clarity. He had almost nothing useful to say about what to do inside it. He was contemptuous of most people. He called them sleepwalkers, unaware of the logos moving through them. His philosophy explains why certainty is an illusion. It does not tell you how to act when the ground shifts. That gap between understanding flux and living inside it with competence is real, which is exactly where you come in. One practice, from his own framework. When you notice yourself resisting a change in your work, your relationships, your plans, do not ask, "How do I stop this?" Ask instead, "What is the river doing right now?" Heraclitus would have you look at what is actually moving, not what you assumed was fixed. Map the current state, not the state you remember. Decide from there. That is not surrender. That is how you stop fighting water. The river does not fight the bank, it becomes the sea.